I've seen this slide before. It's the three dead guys slide. He's going to talk about really big ideas that are supposed to make me want to do something big. I bet he stole it from his sophomore daughter in college. Roberta was really smart. Joanna was very touching. I've worked with Tom. He's just not that smart. I don't think this is going to go good. And he's got this sexist thing working with the three guys. And oh, well, maybe it'll be different.
He's working with four guys.
If I fake a heart attack, can I get out of this? So, a common language. I'm not going to talk about dead people. We're going to leave them dead and let them rest in peace. I do want to talk about a common language. And my goal today is to leave you with some ideas and challenge you a bit. I've got this thing that I believe, and that's the world is getting very, very small. And I don't think we've responded real well to it yet. And I think a group like this can lead that change. And the language that I'm proposing is not a spoken language, rather a language of doing and acting and behaving. And so I want to show that to you. I'll tell you some stories or some narrativity, my new word for the day that was very fun to learn. And it's funny, even in talking in the couple of days that we've been here, I've seen some common themes, and it made me more excited to talk about this. And so I hope you have fun with it. I had fun thinking about it. It literally was written on my bike as I just kind of rode and thought. And so part of this happened in mid-August and the first part of September, and in the States, that's when school starts. And it typically starts around here too. And so I'm going to get past this. A common language, but what I did on my summer vacation. And so I want to talk you through what I did on my summer vacation and why I saw that matter to me in this common language in this shrinking world. So bear with me while I tell you a couple stories. So my wife and I went hiking, and so we're up in the mountains up above the tree line, and so we took a few photos and we're hiking, and this is me hiking. This is Colorado. We're in Lake City, Colorado, and there's several 14,000-foot peaks. And so we're trying to hike up. This is Uncompahgre, which means angry mountain in the Indian language. We didn't make it to the top. It got angry and rained, and we weren't really prepared. So we got that back down. But we were there. So we also hiked through some paths that were trees. My wife was very proud of this walking stick that she had, and she likes to goad me a bit when she thinks she's kind of got one on me. So I found a walking stick as well. And so we had a great time out hiking, and so part of what you do in Colorado is you see nature, and so these were deer out along the path, and we saw a few of those. So I'm standing on the deck of the home that we're staying in, and there was another home a couple of 100 meters away, and we heard dogs barking in a way that was a little louder than they should have been. We looked out, and there was a bear walking down through the gully close to our home, and it was a little bit scary, but these aren't the big bears that eat you up. These are the ones that can probably gnaw on your foot a little bit, but they're not the real dangerous ones. We were up on the deck, so no major worries. But the next morning, this was the scene that my wife saw looking out our kitchen window. So that picture of the bear was shot right there. Now there was a window in between us, but it was really kind of cool. And so that was probably the highlight of the day, I guess. And so we had fun with that. And so we spent a week in Colorado. And is there a pointer here? I don't want to do it. Ah, there we go. So I live around here in Texas. We were up in Lake City, Colorado, and this is the drive that we took. Now, what you need to know that's important to this story about this part of the world of Texas, and I was talking to somebody earlier, so this is about 800, 900 miles. It's a 2-day trip. We weren't in a big hurry. We've done it in one before, so we took our time going and enjoyed it. There's not much in between Fort Worth and Colorado. Amarillo is a nice little town. It's a panhandle town, western, so cattle, oil is their background. There's a few industries in the area. But it's pretty much the only place you can stop to eat. So if you want to eat McDonald's, of course, pick your spot. But there's a place here called the Big Texan. It is uniquely Texan. And anybody heard of the Big Texan, by the way? No, okay. So this will be a treat for you guys. And again, this is a unique spot. So the Big Texan is in Amarillo, and it's on the major highway that goes through town. And it's a bit gaudy. It's a bit big. It's the Big Texan. How else could it be, right? And so the amazing thing is the food is actually good. I'm a bit of a foodie, and the food is good, but it's not known for its good food. It's got a reputation for something else. So there's a lot of dead animals around here, a lot of people, and I looked for the fact, I wanted it to be the place in the U.S. that sold the most steak on a given day. And I'm going to say that it's probably that. I couldn't find it, so I can't quote that as fact, but if it's not, it's got to be in the top 10. I'll stake my reputation on it being top 10. So what it's known for, these are some gentlemen that are sitting at a table, and he is probably a quarter of the way through. That's a 72-ounce piece of meat. 4.5 pounds of meat. So this is a table specially set up. It's elevated a bit, and these four guys have got 60 minutes to finish 72 ounces of steak. Now, if they finish it within an hour, it's free, right? So what a unique kind of a Texan-American gig, right? I mean, so I'm going to eat 4.5 pounds of meat, but it's free. So that's kind of what we do. So you think, well, who has done that? Please, it's just gross, right? So people actually do it. They succeed. So this is the board. So Spain, Pablo, some Spanish. Now, in Texan, we would say that California and New York are foreign countries as well. So there are multiple people that actually finish this piece of meat. And so we had a good time. And I'm sorry? No women up there. But you know what? There is a 71-year-old woman who has finished that steak. It's a 15-year-old story. And so right now, up to now, we've had a fun vacation. It's been a real pleasant time, and we're in Amarillo, Texas, coming home from our vacation. We have no intent to do anything except stop. By the way, we're sitting at our table sharing a meal, about 4 ounces of beef each, very good, a couple of sides. I was sitting here. My wife, Catherine, was sitting here. And we were beginning to finish up, and down the aisle came this large tube of something, and it was surprising to me. And so this was now guys, I'm going to poll here. So guys in the room, what did you see first? What do you see? What is this thing? So I know it's a beer tower. That's what I saw coming down. It's a beer tower. Women, what would you see first in this scene? You saw the beer tower too? My wife saw Orlando, Roberto, Mateo, Marco, right? 4 handsome guys. And so and I looked over and I said, I've never seen that before. What is that? And they said, it's a beer tower. And so we got to talking about that, and these guys are from Italy. So they had they landed in San Francisco and traveled east across the states. They had purposefully come to Amarillo, Texas to eat the Big Texan. And so we talked about that and enjoyed the time with them. We spent 2 or 3 minutes just talking again. And at that point, it's a small world situation, right? So go figure, you're in Amarillo and you see that. But here's what happened. They said they're going to Washington, D.C. and then on to New York. And I've got a Fromel college roommate, works in the Senate in D.C. And I said, well, if you're interested, I can call my friend Russ and see if he can arrange a tour for you. Would you like to do that? They said, well, gosh, that's fantastic. That would really be cool. Can you do that? And so I did, and we went back and forth on some emails. We arranged times. They went and they actually toured the Senate. And my reason for bringing that up is this common language thing. And about doing, my intent in doing that was not to create anything other than some goodwill, some hope for them in a cool experience. Nothing in it for me. And I know that as you are thinking, you've had experiences like that as well, where you're doing things that are unique. There's nothing in return expected. And so it ends up being a really kind of a cool experience. So this is them in the Senate Finance Committee. And by the way, the really cool part of this too is that I believe it's Matteo. One of them works in the Senate in Italy. And so this small world deal and this notion of is it coincidence? Is it karma? Is it life? I don't know. I'm not trying to measure that or evaluate that. I am saying that there are going to be more and more situations where the things that we do will have implications beyond what our intent was. And that's a good thing. We need to not act because we're trying to create some intent. We just need to act. Just go and do. So is the story over? I don't know. I got an email that said, you know what? And I asked their permission to use these pictures in the story. And they said, yeah, that's really cool. So we've all studied sociology, social studies when we were in school. Could you share with us more about what this CCC thing is about? And it's kind of interesting and kind of fun. So, is there some connection there? I don't know. Does Matteo grow up into the Senate and now connect better with the United States? I don't know. Probably not, but it could happen. And it could happen. It's out there in the realm of possibility now. So I want to share another story with you. I like to ride bikes, as is noted. This is my friend Ross. I ride bikes with Ross. Now, he didn't pose for this story. Ross is actually a coach consultant type guy. He was using the bike in a prop as in a talk he was giving. And so the thing you got to know about Ross is his day job is coach consultant, but he's got a passion for the people of Afghanistan. And so I won't bore you. I don't have time to tell you the story, why that background, the background of that story, but he goes to Afghanistan and does leadership, change management kind of work inside what's called the Institute for Leadership Development. It's an NGO type organization. And it's a really cool deal because young people inside Afghanistan don't have access to that kind of information unless people like Ross go. He goes on a fairly regular basis. He actually invited me to go. Now, I don't have a passion for the people of Afghanistan. Nothing against them, just don't have a passion for it. Not my gig. But I do have capacity and ability to teach to a degree, conflict resolution, change management, some leadership principles, the things that we do. So I said yes. I agreed to go. And so I had a chance to say, this is a courtyard. We're sitting with some of the young developing leaders in Afghanistan. Now in this program, they have to apply for this to actually pay for it, which is a big deal in Afghanistan. It's a year-long program. They actually meet 4 times a week in the evening. So they commit quite a lot to this program. We taught in a university there, and my favorite group was these are university graduates, all English speakers. There was no translator, so I had to speak English to be part of the program. And these young people had so much energy. And so, like young people will do, and this is our picture, so Ross and I'm standing in there, and this is kind of the gang that was part of that university program. I've got kids that are some of these kids' age. And so this Facebook thing. So I've now got, 8 or 10 friends, Facebook friends from this crew. And this is one of them. His name's Jawed, nice young fella, not unique except that he's part of these guys that reached out to me on Facebook. I didn't think it was unique, but what happened was Jawed then connected with my 2 kids. Let me go ahead and show you that. This is Ben and Elizabeth. This is my son and my daughter. They're about the age of Jawed. And so they're Facebook friends. And I found out not long after that Jawed is actually trying to go out of the country to do some university work in the Fulbright Scholarship. He's applying for a Fulbright Scholarship. And I think it's in the balance right now. I don't think he's heard whether he's been accepted or not. But he contacted now I'm not sure, he happened to end up working with my daughter on this. But Elizabeth actually helps him edit his application. And so they've gone back and forth, and she's worked on the application with him, and it's been submitted. Again, I'm not sure the determination on that yet. But it could be that that's the end of the story. It could be that there's some Facebook friends, and Jawed doesn't win his application. I hope he does. So maybe that's the end of the story, but maybe it's not. And in the times, particularly the times that we're in now, we need more connection with people. We need more action, more opportunities to rub up against the people in this shrinking world. And so, what do we call all this? So I've talked about the stories that have resonated with me and have helped me understand the shrinking world and the implications of that. And I struggled over, what do you name this? Because, is it charity? Is it simply acting? Is it being kind? Is it being positive? And the word that I actually ended up with was love. And I actually tried not to land on that word because it's a highly charged word. It means a lot. It's like saying snow to an Eskimo, I think. I mean, it can mean a lot, and some of those things are risky. But I kept coming back to it and really focusing on the nature of love as a verb in that action-oriented sense of doing things without an expectation of a quid pro quo or something that was manipulative or needing something in return for that. Rather, loving because you had a hope that things could be better, that you wanted something special for another person, whether it's someone that you meet in a restaurant or perhaps a bit bigger work, going to an Afghanistan and risking some things in that. But all of those came not out of a sense of cause or mission, but of who we are as people. So people that love and that go and that do and that create capacity for hope, which then builds trust. And that is the full circle on that, because we have trust in relationship and trust among people where otherwise it doesn't exist, then we can get real work done. And I think it happens a bit in circular. The more trust people have, the more they have the ability to love. So people that are in difficult circumstances, in whatever circumstances they find themselves, when we reach out and love and do and get into their space and create ability for them to hope, we raise their capacity to trust, and then they in turn can go do something with that. And in this shrinking world, I suggest that can be our common language. Love that creates hope that can build trust. Thank you.